Welcome back. On today's show, we're pleased to be joined by Sunday Times journalist Juanita Hunter, Financial Mail Deputy Editor Sikonati Manchacha, and also media analyst Tebogo Ditsejo. And of course, for the social media segment, we are joined by SABC digital news producer Paballo Lephaka. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Sakina. How are you?
We'll come back to Paballo with the big hashtags of the week shortly. But first, let's take a look at the Sunday papers and what they are leading with today. Well, the Sunday Times this morning, they leading with the story on how President Jacob Zuma's budget plan for free higher education has set off a flurry of panic among senior government officials this week, even prompting threats by a senior National Treasury official to resign should the 40 billion rand free education proposal plan go ahead. The plan said to be drawn up by Morris Masuta, an ex-boyfriend of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma's daughter. The City Press, they also running with the story about President Zuma's hashtag fees must fall. The story gives us details on how the president is determined to announce no fees for students, even if it is only for 1 year. A letter addressed to the chief executive of the National Institute of the Humanities and Social Sciences shows that the organization that coordinates scholarships, research and ethical practice in social sciences field has had its budget cut by 35.6 million rand. And this is part of a wide-scale redirection of state funds from across departments to fund 40 billion rand for students. And it seems that the president's free higher education is splashed across the country's Sunday papers. Front pages in the Sunday Independent is also leading with Zuma's free higher education. Now, the article states that the president was likely to buckle under pressure from students who made the loudest noises, and that he would use the opportunity to endear himself as the president who delivered free education. And although economists warn that the generosity will further damage the economy, it seems the president is going ahead with that. And then the Sunday Tribune, they also running with free education dilemma. The Weekend Argus this morning, they running with the same article, free education as fears grow that free education could hurt the economy. And of course, that seems to be the big story in the Sunday papers. But for now, we shift our focus for a quick update on the most trending stories on social media this past week. And for this segment, we're joined by SABC News digital producer Paballo Lephaka. Paballo, good morning. And so which were the major hashtags this week?
Okay, so the first major hashtag for this week was the taxi strike, naturally so. Taxi drivers were complaining about the recapitalization process, no subsidies and operating licenses. This came to the distaste of a lot of commuters because now they had to make alternative arrangements. They had to get onto Rea Vaya buses. Students were advised to also get alternative transport to get themselves to school to write their exams. In terms of what's happening on social media, though, we have comments coming through from Blooming Wallflower saying hashtag taxi strike. Just another reminder that taxis are significant drivers of this economy. They fold arms, things crumble, we must learn.
But why then would taxi drivers not want to pay their fines? I mean, the rest of us have to pay them. So what makes taxi drivers so unique? Sikonati?
It is the organizing force, the sheer numbers and the lawlessness of their nature. It's survival of the toughest, and indeed it's macro guys that's deciding to hell with it, we're not paying anything, and they've been exempted even from e-tolls and things like that, and that's how they get away with it, the sheer numbers. Interesting.
And as this one reads here, this is not right. It is just not right.
In referral to the students who had to make alternative transport, especially the matric learners, I mean, they are writing their final exams. And then we also have, this was a message that was circulating all over social media. Apparently one of the bosses was urging the workers to come to work, saying that if they don't come, then they're not going to get paid. The message comes through from Lizon saying, good morning guys, everyone needs to be at work today. I am aware of the problem regarding the taxi, but you must all attend, otherwise no work, no pay. Please speak to your friends who have a car. I can't pick up 18 people.
No doubt our viewers will have a lot to say about that. Don't forget to hashtag Media Monitor. What was some of the other big hashtags this week?
All right, and the other big hashtag that we were talking about is the President Keeper's book launch on Wednesday in Hyde Park, which was at point plunged into darkness. But nonetheless, we have a lot of people on social media who are commenting on the actual book itself. Yeah, we have a comment there coming through from Andrew, saying that South Africa is taking down the crook, hashtag the President's Keepers. And then we have another comment coming through from Trevor saying, I started reading the President's Keepers last night. All the talk about spies in chapter 2 made me yawn, and I put the book down. I tried.
Interesting. It made me want to run and hide, but I guess that's how some people feel. But it seems to be book season. Juanita Hunter, I mean, you were at that particular launch. I saw one of your Facebook messages regarding that. So just a quick overview on your take.
I think it was quite a fascinating book, and everyone was quite interested to hear a lot more about it and insights from the very experienced author, Jacques Paul. And I think that, you know, people came out in their numbers. It was very, very highly attended. And so when people sort of went there and the conversation started, people were very, very gripped to see what was the conversation, what did he go through in writing the book. And then the electricity went, and everyone claimed sabotage at the moment. Obviously, there is no evidence that it was sabotage, but basically a lot of people believe that. But I think the discussion after the book launch that was important about how people were feeling that from the audience of the book launch, not the book or the author, but from the audience, there was this sort of, you know, sort of racist undertones and smugness among white people. And it sort of opened a discussion about literature and race. And I thought that was very fascinating.
It certainly is.
Okay, Sakina, and then in our last major hashtag for this week is Mduduzi Manana. He was in the media spotlight once again. And you remember back in the days we used to call a can of Coke a groovy. So yes, how to get away with a groovy, hashtag Manana. And yeah, of course, the can of Coke that was put up there. And then we have a comment coming through saying, hashtag Mduduzi Manana stole a can of Coke in 2004. Really? And then obviously we have people who are saying that he needs to serve his time, whether he's a minister or not, he needs to serve his time. So Forum for Service Delivery Youth calls for hashtag Mduduzi Manana to be found guilty by the Randburg Magistrates Court and to be given an effective jail sentence. And we have one person who was also very sympathetic and saying, well, I mean, everyone has their flaws. Hashtag Mduduzi Manana, this man worked hard for his position politically, so let's not take his flaws as an opportunity to badmouth him. Everyone is bound to do mistakes, and he has also shown remorse and has taken responsibility for his actions. Let's be realistic.
Well, I shall hold my peace on that. But Mr. Titeko, what's your take there with Mduduzi Manana?
Well, I don't think he was being bad-mouthed. He took actions, and he must be responsible for those actions that he took. In terms of the sentencing and all of those, I think it's the court that will decide. We have various elements in our law. I think it's important for the public to note, you know, that perhaps it would have been his first violent crime that will be taken into consideration, and perhaps if he can be rehabilitated, you know, because you might find tomorrow after the judgment there might be an uproar.
Well, some of the hashtags, the major hashtags this past week. Thank you so much, Paballo. And after the break, we discuss the latest developments into state capture. So do stay tuned for more.